waffles, toast. Eggs, bacon, waffles, toast. Eggs, bacon, waffles, toast. Web3 Breakfast, Jay Chains is the host. Good morning, what's up Jay Chains? Turbo made it co-hosting, yeah they do their thing. If you savvy Web3 GM, grab a plate and a seat, let's begin. If you got something to say, come and grab a mic. We got one rule, no douchebag, alright? Retweet the room, bring some friends. If you start to talk, you gon' stay to the end. Retweet the room, bring some friends. If you start to talk, you gon' stay to the end. Monday through Friday, we got the Sorrow. 10 a.m. Eastern Spaces with the purpose. All about the community focus, they deserve it. Come and speak your mind with no regrets, but you serve us. Pizza on Friday, working off midway. Get the blood pumping, Web3 music is thumping. I got eggs, bacon, waffles, toast. Eggs, bacon, waffles, toast. Eggs, bacon, waffles, toast. Web3 Breakfast, Jay Chains is the host with the most. Retweet the room, bring some friends. If you start to talk, you gon' stay to the end. Retweet the room, bring some friends. If you start to talk, you gon' stay to the end. Good morning.
Yo, what is happening, everybody? Happy Monday morning. It's the 26th of June. Holy smokes, baby. We are almost halfway done with this year, right? At the end of this month, we're halfway done with the year already. Holy shit. How's the time go so fast, man?
Rolling right along. Man, I don't know. I think they're trying to get us to the bull quicker, that's all. We're just sprinting to the bull right now.
Into the bull. I don't have a
or
problem.
Something like that. Hell, I don't know.
I don't have no problems with that. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Thank you for joining us. We are going to have a fun conversation today, guys. We are going to be talking all about conspiracy theories. Nothing else. No crypto. I mean, unless maybe like the story relates to it. Literally, anything goes. I got this thing on YouTube. We know damn well this thing is going to get pulled down because we're going to get in there. We're going to talk about all this shit that we think is crazy that happens to be going true most of the time, right? And so, guys, if you want to be a part of this conversation, if you've got something you want to add to it, I've got an article picked out that it says the 38 most popular conspiracy theories here in the United States. So we can start by going through some of those. I think that's a great basis point. And a lot of them are the ones that I think people are locked and loaded, ready to talk about. I mean, like JFK assassination, Area 51, moon landing, stuff like that. All the, the juicy ones. But I know that there's some bigger ones, like the 9/11 inside job kind of stuff. Like, we got to get into it. We got to get into it. So, and we're going to take as long as we need. If this is a marathon space today, so be it. I'm ready to sit in the saddle. I can run downstairs and get more water if I need it. So can you. Let's have a good one. I'm excited about this. Trebacito.
Yo, oh my gosh. Okay. I made it back. I was trying to do so many things, man. I'm getting ready for these conspiracy talks, you know what I'm saying? Because I know you were going to go right down that list or whatever, because I just want to say the one that I like to, I don't know if it's true or if Seven was making it up, but I like it. It was, whenever you die, you just skip to another timeline. I like that. I want to believe that,
Is that a
There was a bunch of times
theory?
in Iraq.
We can get into it. Listen, we'll get into it. That's the point, is that we can, somebody lays something down and we digest it. We talk about all the different ways it could be true, false, whatever. We can get weird. We can go down rabbit holes. I think that's the whole point of today, is today's just kind of it's a rabbit hole kind of what the fuck is going on day.
All right. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what necessarily constitutes a conspiracy, right? But I feel like it is, it's this thing of life, right? Like death is this thing that we have to go through. And so, I like the idea of that when that happens, we just shift timelines. We just go to a new timeline. And now, that's where we are. Because that whole thing about the Mayan calendar, right? And they said the world was going to end, right? But what if it all did end and we just all shifted timelines? That's why there's all this shit that's all messed up, like with the Mandela stuff, right? Like we have all these missed memories because we done shifted timelines.
Man, that would be a great explanation for that. You got me thinking. Guys, and again, I will say this, please make sure if there is anything that you want to add into this conversation, if there's any conspiracy theory, any story that you want to bring up and talk about today, please feel free. This is Web3 Breakfast. Everything we do, we are community members. This is a show for the community, by the community. All we ask is just one rule. Don't be a douchebag. So that means no racists, sexists, or homophobes. Other than that, you are literally able to say and talk about whatever you want. And I think today's just going to be wild. I know once we get into the trenches, man, it's going to be wild.
That's why I got my combat shirt on. You know what I mean? I'm ready. Got the guns blazing. We ready to go in here and fight this way through. And I see Sheesh is coming up, so we're gonna get the party started. You always know it's gonna be a good time when he gets involved. And once Zima gets in here, we're gonna have one heck of a doohickey.
I believe that.
I'm trying new words. I'm sorry.
No, I like that, man. I think doohickey is one, dude. That's like one of those bring back from when we were younger words. And I haven't used doohickey in a while.
I think he's been in Tennessee a little too long.
How's the cloud coverage today?
No, it's sunny. That's how I knew I was going to be able to get on the video. I'm not even joking with you.
2 paper plates.
I was taking my stroller. I've started to walk the property in the mornings when I get up and do some writing and some thinking. And so it was sunny out, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, yep, I'm going to be able to get on the stream today. We getting internet, boys. We up in here.
Oh, I like that. I always appreciate when the sun shines in Tennessee so we can see your face, Turbo. It makes things just, a little bit better, in my opinion, right? I can look you in the eyes, and if you're telling me a story, man, I can see if you're juicing it or if it's for real.
Yeah, and you can also give me like a crazy look, like Turbo, we're moving on. Like we're bringing it up. See, we didn't have that Friday. That's why it went so far off the rails. You know what I mean? Because if I seen on screen, you know what I'm saying, with disgust on your face, I'd have been, okay. Right.
All right. Well, for the sake of the excitement and everything, we don't need to do any house cleaning. We don't need to talk about markets. Let's get into the first one on this list. Let me just pull this up over here. So if you are watching on the live stream, and just so you guys know, like I said, we do have the show live stream right now. It's on YouTube and Twitter, as well as, so it's on the J Chain's YouTube, on my Twitter account, as well as Turbo's Twitter account and a Facebook account. Correct? Yep. I do see everything is connected up there. So if you want to watch on the video, you are more than welcome to. We can get I see 74K posted a link up there already in the nest. So thank you, sir. So if you want to watch the video, please go ahead and do that. And then, all right, so the first one on this list, they're talking about the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Was it an inside job? Was this hired by the CIA? Now, one thing that is really cool is that we've got a presidential candidate who happens to be his son. And Robert Kennedy Jr. has pretty much made a platform, and we're going to get into the vaccine stuff later. I know that we are, and I'm very excited about that. But let's talk about this assassination first. So he has, information, and he wants to bring some things to light, saying that it was the CIA, that assassinated his father. Who wants to pick this one up first? Who's jumping in?
I'll talk about it after somebody says what they think happened, but I've actually read the CIA documents, and he's completely right. Like everything is that he talks about, like he's vaguely speaking about it, but he knows like what all went down, like so because he got confirmation from somebody.
And I just want to really quick today, before we go too much farther, today's going to be, in my opinion, one of those days where everyone's going to have to fight the urge to talk over somebody. Let's just, if we can, make sure somebody finishes their point before anyone else hops in. And that's just so that we give everybody the same amount of time and respect in their conversation. And if we can use hands, that's wonderful. They're not mandatory. They are helpful in negotiating and navigating the conversation, but let's just make sure that we respect everybody's opinion and time.
Yeah, actually, I want to take just a small step backwards from the assassination, kind of a why. So there was actually a plot that was given to JFK for them to stage a terrorist attack in Miami, so that we could go to war with Cuba, and JFK didn't want to go through with that, and so then there was an assassination.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's theories that it was Castro and the Soviet Union working together that assassinated him. But the more I get into sound money and just the economy itself, I wouldn't be surprised if the powers that be in the monetary system had it also planned or worked with whoever. I mean, I don't know if we'd ever really find out the truth about who assassinated JFK. I mean, RFK. Look, RFK has some major cojones to run for president. His uncle was killed. His father was killed. His cousin. I mean, to be a Kennedy and run for president, knowing that they've offed your uncles and is his father too? Yeah, Junior. His father, his cousin. I mean, it's kudos to him running for president, knowing that his family is being targeted by whatever powers that be or individuals or whatnot.
So is that the Illuminati? Is that the the 3 or 4 to 5 whatever families that controlled pretty much the vested interest of this country?
Yeah, I don't go that far. I'm not into the Rothschilds. I'm not really a conspiracy theorist. I'm more here to be the anti-conspiracy theorist guy. But JFK is for real. Like we don't know who killed JFK for sure.
Daniel's a normie.
I'm not a normie. I just like finding evidence, and a conspiracy theorist has never provided real, true evidence to prove otherwise. They've only had conjecture or videos that point at different ideas. There's actual no evidence of any real conspiracy theory to prove their point. Like, I've never seen any real evidence for a flat earth, or I've never seen any real evidence for lizard people, or all these other type of conspiracy theories.
Well, you're right. There is no, I will tell you, there is no, I've been up in an airplane. I've seen the curvature of the earth. I know that it is not flat. Now, when it comes to lizard people, Daniel, I believe that we all know one. His name is Mark Zuckerberg. He is for sure a lizard person.
Hey, don't forget about old Gary.
Oh, Grandpa Gary.
He's the king of the lizards.
Yeah, he is the king of the lizards. No, absolutely.
He has a twin too, so they're twin king lizards.
Stop it. Gary Gensler has a twin?
Absolutely,
I gotta look this up.
If that shit's real, it's a clone, 100%. If Gary Gensler has a twin, it is a clone. It is. They are definitely making lizards.
Guys, this is the best space ever that you guys didn't know that Gary Gensler had a twin.
Oh, is he really a twin? Is this like not a joke?
Not even a joke.
Okay. Well, then it doesn't mean he's a lizard guy. It just means
see,
he's
Daniel.
definitely a lizard guy, Daniel.
Well, there's no picture of him next to his twin brother.
Well, because maybe a twin brother is an extreme introvert and doesn't like pictures and people,
They're never in the same room. It's weird.
Or light.
Okay.
His experiment didn't go as well.
Okay, so his name is Robert N. Gensler. He's the vice president of T. Rowe Price Group Incorporated, and he looks exactly like Gary, but not as lizardy.
Nice.
His skin. What happened? He probably shed. Maybe he was born first, and he shed his lizard skin first, and that's why his complexion's a little bit smoother.
He's still.
No, what it is that was like right after he shed some skin, so his skin was still tight. Every time Gary fucking takes a picture, his skin's super loose because he doesn't shed his fucking skin.
No. His generation is the first hybridized human lizard. And his twin was human, and he's full lizard.
Oh God, that's gross.
Now, were these people created in labs, or are they coming from another planet?
No, he's like a new type. He's an experiment. It's obvious in the way he functions that he's an experimental being.
So
there are no other planets.
Is the lab here in the United States? Is it in Europe, or is it in Asia?
So there's a planet that's it's behind Venus and it hides from the Earth. That's where all that stuff goes down.
All right, I don't believe a word you're saying to me right now.
Me either. Oh God! So where do people come up with these theories, man? Like, where the heck did even lizard people come from? Like, what's the story behind that?
Well, yeah, that's just it. There has to always be some kind of truth that happened to make these things. You know what I'm saying? Like some kind of reality. And while we are completely off the rails, and we don't go to another topic while we're off the rails, the Loch Ness Monster.
We went over
the Loch Ness Monster one.
We went over this one yesterday.
The lizard people?
No, the Loch Ness Monster one is very easy to settle because if you look at the Loch Ness Monster picture and say a breached whale penis, it is basically the same thing. And so I am debunking the Loch Ness Monster one on account of it is literally just whale penises. And there are pictures to prove it.
Okay.
One,
Come to that conclusion.
The Loch Ness Monster, I
no,
don't think
100%.
conspiracy theory. I mean, there have been I don't know, sea animals that look like from like the prehistoric era, like dinosaur era, that have been caught off shores, like actual videos, right? Like, who knows what's in the deep of the ocean? Maybe one of them came up into, like, somehow they were in the
Nope.
lake.
Yeah, but what they're saying, dude,
It was a whale
is,
penis.
is that there are probably 1,000 more whale penises breaching the surface than there are prehistoric animals swimming around down there that we haven't seen before. So they're just going to deduce it to 1,000 whale penises have been shadowed on the internet, thinking Nessie's actually coming up and saying, "Hi, how you doing?"
And not, hey, just to be clear, Nessie, the Rilla, our friend who's in the crowd, like, don't get confused.
Oh, geez, no, not. He's not breaching water or showing penis. It's just whales.
We love you, Nessie.
But he will be as big in the metaverse as one of those whale penises, or bigger,
Jesus.
for sure.
Okay.
Huge.
All right, back to Kennedy. My goodness, you guys you take on one thing and you just run the shit out of it and you beat it like a dead horse. My God. All right, let's get back to Kennedy. Sheesh, what do you think?
I think jet fuel does not melt steel beam.
I knew he was going to do.
Oh, we're going
weird
straight to
shit.
9/11.
That's hilarious.
Oh God.
Controlled demolition?
1,000% yes.
No.
Yes.
It was a laser, damn it.
Building 7 fell without anything happening to it. How the hell did it even happen?
You know
that 80% of people don't even know that Building 7 fell. You know that no, like nobody even knows.
That's
that
because 80% of the people are not educated.
Well, I mean,
No. Hold on. Let me address that comment that Daniel just made, because this is a common thing against people who are anti-establishment or people who question anything, right? It's, oh, you guys aren't educated, or you're uneducated, or you're less educated. The truth is, both conspiracy theorists and those who are normies, they have the same level of information available. They have the same access to education, the same core education. Everyone went through the same core education. So it's not an education thing. The difference is you're talking about a group of people who ask questions for themselves, dig into things, read, and aren't afraid to think different. That is the core difference. Because if you start with, well, what if I go back and I try and find evidence for something instead of just taking my third grade teacher's word for it? And you start with something as simple as that. Even if you end up confirming that it was true what you were told, at least you went through the process of looking into something for yourself. So that's one of the things that most of the time gets thrown at people, right? And I would even equate it. It's the same as like in politics, where people just start name calling and calling each other bigots and all that stuff, in defense of the point they're trying to defend, because they have no data or nothing to point to, right? So they have to defer to name calling. So I would say that's not accurate, man. That's in my opinion, using they're just not educated. That's the lamest excuse you could give for someone asking questions and going and digging and looking and reading for themselves.
When I say they're not educated, is, look, if you go to grad school and you did a political science major, or you go to law school, or you go to med school, or you go to get a master's, right? You take a course called research methods. Research methods teaches you how to source material that is actual data, right? Like, when you write a paper in grad school, you write a paper in law school, you have to cite every single thing that isn't your own idea. And you have to find evidence and proof to support the claims that you write. The problem with the majority of the country, or the majority of the population, is they're never taught research methods, and they're never taught how to properly find evidence. So, like, for instance, that conspiracy theory video you had me watch, I couldn't finish, about the Catholic Church, I sourced materials, and you just kind of negated it. And that's the problem with conspiracy theorists. I can provide if I sit down with any conspiracy theorist and we point for point, source for source, and I provide real sources from academia or the scientific community, you would just deny it as the government or the scientists working together. And it's very convenient that line, oh, but it's just a big state changing the data. That's the problem.
No. So my rebuttal to that, though, Daniel, is I agree that you need to cite some sources and you need to point to other places where that information has been verified, but it can't be the source of the information cannot be the one place that defends your argument. For example, if I'm going to argue that Toyotas are the best cars, I can't source Toyota bullshit. I have to use third party. I got to use something else.
Right, but you guys don't even provide real data. You just use
I want to speak so badly right now.
Go ahead.
I do want to.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning, Zima. How are you? I do want to give Sheesh. Sheesh wanted to say something a few minutes ago. So Sheesh, go ahead and say what you want to add in there, and then Zima, go ahead and pop in.
I feel like there is. All right, so I don't want to. All right, there's a psychology spectrum when it comes to like normie to straight conspiracy theorist, right? And I constantly am like just starting in the center and then going and leaning more right towards the conspiracy theories. And I always try to like self-reflect, bring it back. But it's really, really, really hard to deny the fact that most of academia is under 51% attack and very, very, very corrupted in its highest order. These are boards that were handpicked. These are educational tribunals that were handpicked. They get bought out all the time. There is an educated, college degrees upon degrees person right now saying all this pro-vaccine stuff, and Joe Rogan is trying to go into academia to pull a devil's advocate, and the person is completely denying it because academia is not a status symbol for I know everything. Within the spectrum of academia alone, there are complete idiots, and then there are complete brilliant people that are actually making sense to all spectrums, whether you're a normie or a conspiracy theorist, right? So I think the problem is having education and then having that as almost like a handicap, because what it does is you have to accept at some point that there is indoctrination in whatever you've been educated with.
100.
Of course, 100%.
Small percentage or a big percentage, there is. You can't deny it. You can't sit in an absolute and say, "Oh, it's completely incorruptible."
But it is our job to decipher what is biased and what is not to the best of our ability. Hans Gadamer, he wrote a book called Truth and
Academia in itself is people want a confirmation bias within academia because
no, dude. But this is the argument.
I'd like to say something.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yep.
Good morning, everyone. So
I
walked in kind of late. Are you guys talking about COVID? What's the hot topic right now?
So we were like the last conspiracy that we were talking about was the Kennedy assassination, but we're really kind of taking a step back and really kind of determining like how you could quantify something as a conspiracy theory when like sometimes people don't put in the research. So we're taking really a step back and I think diagnosing that first before we move forward with other things.
But I wanted to respond to Daniel there, because you had such a strong point in regards to how a person should research and how to structure their information, what would be considered fact. And I guess somebody called something stupid. I guess that's what happened there. What's up, Caesar? I know that you were defending that. I don't know if you guys know about this, but for the last nearly half this decade, there's a thing, and it's a very real thing, called the replication crisis in science. Now, this is actually, it sounds bizarre, but it started around 2012 when there was actually a bunch of scientists from a very major company basically coming out into the public and basically saying, we can't reproduce our research. Now, the very basis of science itself is the fact that you can actually scientifically reproduce a set of steps, and therefore you have established fact. But over 85% of publications that have actually been reattempted to be proven again have been constantly thrown off. Now, you may think that if you Google it, there's a bunch of rationale that people have put on over the last few years saying, oh, it was influenced by economies and money and people's fake data, etc. But see, there's what you're talking about in terms of that's just that's a hypothesis, right? But in terms of how people rationalize those things, they rationalize what makes sense. But I myself and direct experience have actually seen this crisis in play. So when you talk about, and so just so you understand, that situation is so serious that they are actually having real conversations right now to reevaluate the scientific method. So my point here is, do not be so confident in the structures that you've learned in terms of what we've established fact or whatnot, because even those very fundamentals are being challenged today.
That I would agree with. 100% agree with what you just said, that last sentence, because nothing is absolute. Nothing. Fact by definition is generally backed opinion.
That's right.
Mostly to be true, so it is true, but it is not true. The only thing that is true is mathematics, infinity, and the fact that all we know.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Everything you just talked, there is literally no truth to any of those either. When you talk about the very the polarizing concept of quantum and no time and classical mechanics, every fact is subjective. It's relative to is to experience. You can and you basically have to accept the fact that there are things that are truths for you, and then truths for everybody else.
Well, let me jump in here real quick, guys. I want to, because there's one thing I want to say on this, right? Like it's just the idea, right, of damn it, Jay, when you pointed at me, you fluttered my heart, and I completely forgot what I was gonna say right there. Completely blew my whole doggone thought. Damn it, Daddy looks shit. Oh man, damn it.
Sorry.
Well, that's all right. Hey, Jay, I know we're not doing the workouts today.
No. We're gonna do one. We have to do at least just one because we can't. The people that come
mental
here.
workouts, guys. Mental workouts.
The workouts will keep our heads cool for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to address Zima about there's no absolute truth. That is a completely different topic compared to.
Oh yes, it is. You're be prepared there, okay? Be prepared. You're talking to a guy that actually has dedicated decades of science. So I will tell you right now, if you want to talk about absolutes, even any legit scientist will say there is no such thing.
Well, that's an absolute statement, which is a contradiction.
But Daniel has PhD,
semantics.
Zima.
And it looks like, guys, it is go time. Is this one I want to do, Jay?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
that's the
about
one
to blow your minds.
Okay.
You're about to embarrass me, but blow some minds.
No, man. Hey, look. Hey, yo, shouts out, man, to the new money track done by the Web3 Breakfast. J Chain 74 Chains. 74 Chains.
74 Chains. Yeah, this is the first time.
74 Chains.
This is our first track together, guys. It's the first time I've ever did anything like this, so it was fun.
Looking forward to this.
I know that. I felt great until all of a sudden. So you said that, then I got all nervous and fluttered and shit. I was doing fine on that. Yo, guys, let's go ahead and grab our weights. Let's get to it. This is the Web3 Breakfast Crew.
Y'all don't wanna know. Fuck around and see it, cause you know I'm gonna go. Yeah.
Web3 Breakfast, service eyes like Texas. I'm a beast, yeah, baby. You know I'm reckless. We stacking blue chips, my people by the dip. Matt Black Lambo coming soon. Don't forget, sign the check.
Web3 Breakfast. Fuck a Lexus, push a Maserati, keep a diamond Jesus on my necklace. I'm living reckless. Fuck a job, cash the check, grab the bag, hit the flight, we on the next one. Watch changing money, just ask my honey. Got a diamond on my face, I can't help it, I'm new money.
Web3 Breakfast, wake and bake, appreciate the checklist, moderate the stage, perplexing everything you say, and not to mention, fuck, I think I rub. Maybe I should shrug it off, go touch some grass, perhaps some plug.
Web3 Breakfast, Web3 Breakfast.
Yo, that's that Web3 Breakfast banger.
That's fire, bro.
Oh, man. I'm so wet right now.
Is that you, Turbo? You flowing in that song?
Yeah, it's all of
It
us.
sounded like it. Yeah.
Yeah, the order went. You could tell from the skill level how it went too. So I went first, terrible. Then Turbo went second, he was good, and then Seven went, and he was like killed it.
Yeah, Seven's sick for sure. Seven, what's up, bro? You're a fire, bro.
Thanks, guys.
You know, man.
Zima loves
It's like
himself.
working. It's like working. Dude, it's like working with a magician. Like it pretty much just kind of went. We're all just kind of sitting around, like, we're gonna make a song together, and then like we'd start for like 2 minutes, and then like the conversation just fly off the rails. We wouldn't be listening to a beat or nothing. Then we get back on for like another minute, and then like it went off the rails for like an hour, and then Jay's like, "Well, I think I should probably go." And Sam's like, well, "Let's record the song." Then we just walked in and recorded the song. That was it.
Yeah,
I know. I learned that they got spaces where the people freestyle. You guys do that?
Zima, did you want to freestyle on that song, or you want to freestyle on the track, man?
Well, I could, but Seven, I don't feel bad.
No, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna
do it.
Yeah, we're gonna set up a studio very soon, and so we'll be able to do this on a much larger scale. So anybody that rolls through ATL, baby, come on, get yourself featured on a track. Everybody's welcome.
Y'all need to host a community remix contest.
Ooh,
I love that.
Ooh, please do that.
Write that down.
And
I like it.
each
y'all need more ideas,
contestant gets a cereal box.
Ooh, I'm into this.
Community battles.
Community battles. Let's go. All right.
Like we do like the.
All right, we're going into the next one. I want to get started. I think that we've laid the groundwork.
Come on.
We don't need to talk about researching and doing research and proving and all that stuff. We're here for the juice. We want the details. So atrazine, a potent endocrine disruptor that both chemically castrates and feminizes male amphibians found in our water here in the U.S. Is that what's happening to the younger generation? Is it the water? I want to know.
You went straight to the frogs are making people gay. Oh man!
Americans.
I wanted to get juicy. This was a juicy one. This one makes people think.
Well,
Explain this theory.
I can definitely say this though. Jay, is that if you go back, right? They were like, "Yo, girls, if you kiss the frog, you're gonna get a prince," right? And then there was no prince. And then I remember as a kid, they were like, "Yo, if you pick them up and they pee on you, you'll get warts." And I never got warts. And so now they're like, "If you touch the frog, they're gonna make you gay." And everybody's like, "Ew, I'm not gonna touch it."
No, that's
nobody's being gay.
That's not how it goes, Turbo. So atrazine, it's a chemical that's found in the water. Here, it is what I just said. It's an endocrine disruptor that chemically castrates and feminizes male amphibians. So in this study, it was 100% of the control group of the placebo. Fine, no problem. 10% of the male frogs feminized themselves, grew ovaries, and were able to be, I don't know how frog sex works, but they were able to be impregnated by a male frog at that point. And they had started the study out as a male. So
I know frog sex. You get froggy. So
is that in the Kama Sutra book, froggy style? Is it different than doggy style?
You know what?
Oh no!
Let me look it up.
NFT project.
Yeah, froggy style.
I mean, is this the same thing as the fluoride issue?
Similar.
Kind of.
Well, fluoride doesn't make you. It makes you dumber. It doesn't make you feminine. I don't
Correct.
think, right?
No. But the fact that they're putting shit in our water, like for no reason. Right?
Yes. So hold on. Here's another important piece of context, right? And it kind of goes back to the point that we started off with, which was what leads people to become conspiracy theorists. And I think it's important, guys. I think a lot of it's going to end up coming back to this conversation, unfortunately. But
yep.
So the frog thing, the reason it's going around right now, the reason it's going viral is because Alex Jones said this like around 2017, 2018. I don't know when it was. But he said this a long time ago, this guy, right? And this is a guy who's been...
They made him sound like he was a crazy person. Like he was
they made him sound
I think he said frog.
Yeah, of course. They're just quoting everybody, okay?
They didn't make him do that. The cocaine made him sound like a crazy person. When you speak back,
maybe. Well, maybe. But you guys
cocaine does that.
Where people can hear something like this, see the amount of hate that guy got, and then you have a legitimate, pretty put together guy later on bring it up again and say, hey, there's science that points to that. And then all of a sudden people remember, holy hell, that crazy guy said a long time ago. So it's like, it validates why people become conspiracy theorists, or at least why people are anti-establishment. Like, I consider myself like an anti-establishment guy. I'm not like completely off the deep end. I'm anti-establishment. I don't trust big, greedy corporations and organizations to have my best interests. I just don't.
Well, I mean, look, to me, I don't know about this one. I heard about it when they talked about the amount of those, the feminine making stuff in the water. But the reality is, I mean, we already know that they have been putting stuff in our water for no effing reason, right? The very fact that they put fluoride, what's their excuse again? For your damn teeth?
For your teeth.
Which is the dumbest reason ever, because every side study on fluoride deteriorates the animals like crazy, right?
So now,
so
now let's add into this one. Obviously we've got the fluoride, we got the atrazine. Now, what about all these other things that are happening, like the trains? The trains that are going down, and then obviously spilling these chemicals into water supplies. There was just another one, I think, over the weekend.
Population control, man.
Right?
The bridge cut off and everything.
But the thing is, you say
so the one wreck was.
I'm dying.
The one wreck was actually in my hometown. The third one, and it was like crazy. Because I was like, man, they ain't never gonna wreck. I was like, man, you know why we safe here? I was like, because we so damn poor, they ain't never gonna do no shit here. And then like a week later, we had a train wreck. Now this was crazy, right? We had the train wreck up northern Ohio, and then we had one in my hometown. Well, then just last week, I was like on the Facebook, like through this crime page, because we got like a really like hopping crime page, and everybody was like, yo, there was an explosion, and they sent like all the workers home because one of the trains exploded, but they didn't put it on the news.
That's interesting.
It went completely uncovered.
Oh, we're not talking about.
Let me ask you.
Let's give. I would like Sapphire to go first, and then and then let's throw some up hands, because I know a lot of people want to talk on this, but let's go Sapphire first, and let's throw up hands.
Oh, I was just asking Turbo to confirm this explosion is different than the one that just got the train. It came up missing, right? Is that different? The chemicals came up missing on the train all of a sudden somewhere.
Yeah, that was out in California.
I don't know.
I checked that one though. The missing chemicals one. That was like that was a shipment thing.
We had a train explode, and no one talked about it in my hometown after there was already a train wreck in the exact same location.
So this one that happened over the weekend.
That's what makes it weird.
This one that happened over the weekend. It happened on the Montana Bridge, sending multiple rail cars into the Yellowstone River, and it was carrying sodium hydrogen sulfate. So that's what was in that one.
It just makes me wonder if they're like creating different flavors of humans before the aliens come. So they're like picking and choosing. I want the honey mustard kind. And it's where the Yellowstone wreck happened. It's like all America is just a buffet, like a charcuterie board of human beings.
Do you feel like honey mustard?
Dude, I always feel like honey mustard. Actually, probably hot sauce.
Yeah, we're WAGMI.
Hot sauce. Caesar?
I feel like that Chick-fil-A colony, that honey barbecue sauce from Chick-fil-A.
That is like literally the best combination of sauce. And if you gotta actually add extra barbecue sauce to it. So yeah, Chick-fil-A sauce is honey mustard and barbecue sauce together. But then you add a little extra barbecue sauce into that when you got your chicken nuggets. I'll tell you what. That's a good Sapphires onto the hot
Chick-fil-A Alpha.
Absolutely. Caesar, you had your hand up. Go ahead. And then
and honey mustard. No, it was just being conspiracy theorist joke thing. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, my comment was, I think the larger comment, right? Turbo brings up a good point when he said that nobody talked about it, right? So things that's another thing that flips a switch in my mind, right? When the media isn't talking about something, it's like, okay, why? What's the reason? Because when they go in on a topic, right? When they pick something they want to talk about, you've got them all chirping like a bunch of parakeets or whatever, like where they're all repeating the same stuff, right? So obviously, when there's something they want to talk about, there's no problem getting them all to talk about the same thing almost verbatim, right? Word for word, almost on every channel. It doesn't matter where you're at in the country. So the question is then, why aren't they talking about some of this shit? Why do they ignore some of the things like Turbo said, and they kind of keep it quiet, right? Whether that's intentional or unintentional. I mean, you can kind of use your imagination there. I think the larger question is, aside from the train derailments, which all have chemicals, right? That's a common factor. All had chemicals. All were near water supply, water sources, right? So one can deduce there might be some malice there. There also, I don't know how many people are aware, but last year there was like over 100 food processing facilities and farms that were all burned down from accidental fires. Accidental. There's never been this many in the history of food processing. And I'm a guy who came from a corporate background in food and beverage manufacturing, so I know a thing or two about that. But farms, I mean, it's not a huge leap mentally for someone to say, it seems like the food supply is maybe getting attacked. Right?
Caesar,
Water, food.
So now bring this into it. Now we know that Bill Gates is like the largest landowner. He controls all the seeds, all this shit. So like
farm owner,
excuse me, thank you. Does this go into, is this like that next layer on all of this stuff where we're seeing food supply go down, we're seeing water contaminated, now they control all this stuff, now he controls the narrative, and we know population whatever the word I'm looking for.
Depopulation.
Thank you. I said that backwards. Depopulation is what their main goal is.
Right. I mean, I think it's all tied, man, and I don't think you have to be that crazy. Daniel thinks I have to be crazy to believe this shit, but I think you got to be crazy to not even be a little bit suspicious. I mean, in my opinion, it's like
to not be inquisitive is crazy.
Well, we know that they're okay. So let's just take a step back from some of the things that we'll put in air quotes are crazy. Let's talk about our ecosystem. Let's talk about Web3. We know what just happened, and you could call it a conspiracy theory or you could call it fact, whatever it is. But our government literally attacked every exchange that was worth a fucking damn. Right? They attacked them. They sued them for some fucking reason that didn't even make sense. None of it made sense, right? And then a couple days later, the big financial powerhouses are launching their own exchange. Well, shit. I think we talked about this last week. If it looks and smells like shit, it's probably shit. So we don't trust our government. So I think at this point,
exactly.
Seven has
can we go back? Can we go before that? Can we go back a generation in crypto real quick? Because this is not the first time. Bitcoin itself, when Bitcoin was like among, when people were forking proof of work chains as shitcoins, you have to remember, the Mount Go incident was kind of like an FTX kind of incident, right? People disappeared. Bitcoin got locked up. The Silk Road before that was the largest seizure of Bitcoin by the American federal government. And at that point, they were the largest holder of Bitcoin, right? During that time period, people don't know, but there were people that had their Bitcoin seized by the FBI just for no reason. They were just taking Bitcoin. They were just taking it from anyone who had it. If you were early, you were fucked. And in those days, you could probably get dropped and nobody would even know who you were, right? So this is stuff that actually happened, and you won't hear about the stuff in the news. There's no research, there's no cited articles, there's nothing there. There's just the word of mouth of people within the OG network that know this shit went fucking down, right? So this is why conspiracy theorists don't rely on academia a lot, because the narrative is censored.
And they got eyeballs.
Yep. I absolutely agree with you. I know, Seven, you had your hand up, and then I want to go to Alawese. Sorry if I mispronounced your name there. Let's go Seven, then him, and then Carrie.
So going back to the food shortage situation, it's actually 1,900 companies burned down their situation because they're trying to get the food sources out of the U.S. Control, pretty much, because once they get it outside, then Bill will say, oh, all this land's up for grabs, and he's going to grow synthetic blah 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 on it. It'll be a bunch of GMO garbage. And then to talk about the crypto exchange that came out, EDX is a joint venture between Citadel, BlackRock, and
Fidelity, right?
Who's the other one? Fidelity, yeah. So they are just trying to pool their money together before the next one, because what's going to happen is all these big companies are going to form these little triad situations where they are all going to get a cut, and it's going to be it'll be the next drop there. So they entered EDX into the system. FTX was supposed to be the first one, but they got caught fucking with the tokenized stock exchange that they were supposed to launch at the beginning of this year. But FTX got fucked up. They're probably going to try to relaunch it at the end of this year, which will be hilarious. But they will do this again. We will see them try to dump the market every single time they release these things, because this is just the first entry. When they dump it again, the first entry will get even a lower buy-in, and then the second entry gets to jump in. It's just like whenever you whitelist your friends to your projects and stuff. That's exactly what they're doing. They're just doing it to the entire fucking market.
Well, not just the market, they're doing it to the food supply too. What was mentioned before, even when you talk about the derailments, right? The thing about what I've learned in the 7 years of publicly traded assets, microcaps, and listening to all these whales do their fucking whale bullshit and literally jump into a thing and FUD, get the price down, and then buy that fucking dip, right? These people are doing it on micro scales, so obviously exists on macro scales. That's what the scientific, in me is going to say, right? If it exists in the small, it has to exist in the big, right? It can, or at least has the potential to.
So the dark pool is a whole mess for them to just have their own little fucking club to do exactly what you're talking about. We don't get to see what millions they make
but let's break that down a little bit. Okay. Turbo just said that, what happened in his hometown, and it was a very poor neighborhood. Historically speaking, very, very, very poor neighborhoods get like literally trashed, and then within generations have a gentrification that puts that property value at hundreds of X's. All right, I'm from the Bronx. I grew up in the Bronx, New York, right? When I was a kid, some of those buildings were in rubble, so trashed. The government was trying to create this program to sell the buildings for $1 if you were able to fit the tax bill, right? They were selling these buildings from $1. Now they're worth millions. Those neighborhoods are untouchable. Why? Because they trash neighborhoods, they buy the fucking dip, and they pump because they have the floor. Yeah, they just need the floor. That's all they care about, the floor. When they have the floor, they can hedge properly. When they can hedge, consume liquidity. If the property of something starts to run and people start to FOMO, there's too many retail investors buying our fucking neighborhood, let's fucking tank the floor a little bit. Let's drop them, put him in. This guy, I just pulled up NSA, pull up his record. Oh, he's so close to bankruptcy. If I sell off 3 fucking properties at below comp, he's gonna go bankrupt. We could get his shit at 75% of what he paid. Let's fucking do that. And you know what? Now I'm a conspiracy theorist, but this is a fact if you think about it, because it can be done on the smaller level.
Well,
the equation is simple.
Theory is different from conspiracy. Conspiracies can be proven. Conspiracy theories cannot.
Guys.
What did you
Daniel, hang on, Zima. Hang on, guys. Hang on. I hate to do this. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you got to come in. And I've been pumping weights the whole time, so I'm feeling myself. But we did have some hands. We do want to, respect the hands and stuff like that. Just because, just keeps good order, and shows that we are all civilized, adults here that can maintain ourselves. So, I know it's exciting and things like that, and not throwing no shade or anything like that. We sort of swings to some hands, which it was I can't say it either. Lawaze, and then I think we had Honest has his hand up, and then if you guys want their hand up, we can definitely keep it rotating around.
Yeah, call me Eyes. My name is Eyes.
GMG.
Okay, thanks, man.
What's up, Eyes?
Yeah, yo, not much. Thank you for the for the mic, and I just want to say shout out to everybody in the in the space, and y'all are making history. I got a conspiracy, and it might just throw y'all like off topic, but it's just a whole different I got a whole conspiracy about this AI, like the way it's evolving, and I feel like if they evolve it to the point where AI can read our thoughts, is it gonna be illegal for us to think? Because Eddie Griffin said that, but I'm like, can that shit be real where it's illegal to think?
I think we got it.
They are
doing
that. Illegal to think now.
Yeah, so they are building interfaces, right? Where you can, I forgot what it's called. I just had a meeting with them. You know those technologies where you can actually look at them. You can use your thoughts to move the mouse. Are you familiar with this?
Mm-hmm.
There's two kinds, right? The first kind is actually is topical, right? So it's kind of cool when you look at a shape like a triangle or a square or a circle. The way it works is kind of bizarre. When you look at a shape, your brain actually transmits a unique signal based on what you're looking at. So you're not just receiving, you're transmitting at the same time when you see things.
Zima, were you thinking BrainGate technology?
No. There's a specific name for the.
Sorry to cut you off.
Are you talking about like the Neuralink thing?
Yeah, like the Neuralink stuff, right? And so what's happening right now is they have a data issue. So what's happening is they're using the NIH's grant leverage so that every research firm that has had to do anything with neuroscience and research must now submit it back to the government. Okay, and on top of that, anything that's connected to further research, which includes the incorporation of these particular type of sensors that they're going to start bringing out, with those sensors actually will be considered part of a study, quote unquote, right, which mandates that they actually go back into the government submissions by law. So that's happening right now, right? We're they're already positioned. And by the way, they're contemplating a blockchain solution for this like massive amounts of data. Filecoin. So
I like Filecoin and Crust Network. If you guys know anything about me and my love for pizza, I was able to find another coin that's basically like Filecoin. It's called Crust Network. And if you love pizza, you love Crust Network.
Okay, it's Crust Network.
Million.
So in other words, to just my own understanding of it, the concept that it's not really. I mean, you can say thoughts, but your thought waves are actually going to be organized and gathered. So let me tell you how freaky that is. If you have a device on in your head and you're floating around the metaverse, etc., literally every response to every controlled stimuli is being recorded and transacted to the point where you will be helpless against any type of will, whether it's consumerism, whether it's directing you or thought. I mean, they're mastering this now. You know?
That's just absolutely frightening to think. All right, let's get to who had their hand up. I feel like
Honest has his hand up.
Honestly, missed him. Yeah,
he must have dipped. I wonder, man, him and his son are doing an amazing trip, man. They went from Amsterdam to Rome. I think they're in Dubai right now. Cool to watch. If you guys know Honest, make sure that you check out this traveling that he's doing with his son, man. Such a cool experience. Carrie, you did have your hand up as well. Go ahead, and then we'll get back to Sheesh.
Okay, I feel like maybe I should back off for a sec because this was sort of getting kind of interesting, and I'm like way out of my element here. So maybe pass it back to Zima or yeah.
All right. Come
Carrie,
back.
bring it, man.
It's Sheesh time.
Well, I was going to change the topic straight up. If
let's
go
for it because like we.
Yeah, bro, come on.
Okay, let's get down to brass tacks here. Fucking 7. Let's talk about divine intervention. Okay, clearly aliens put the pineal gland into apes to create a new, possibly slave race. You know, and
all right.
I know the Sumerians predate the Bible. They created writing, and in their writings, they talk about a race called the Anunnaki, those who from the heavens came. You know, so the Sumerians, who are more ancient than who we consider to be ancient, are referring to the Anunnaki as the ancient ones, right? So then we have these buildings all over the world that cannot be explained. They look like they've been carved out by fucking laser beams and things, and they use like super like levels and tools that they would never have had all that time ago. So I'm just saying that where the shit did we come from? And you know, like a magic baby and 3 wise guys doesn't do the job for me.
Okay. So have you ever seen like the Sumerian text and the ancient emerald text when they actually got to the point where they could read them. They pretty much tell us that we were created in order to kind of just tend this place. Like that's all we're pretty much supposed to do. In that whole like step down from like there's a race that sent the Anunnaki to start just pretty much just birthing worlds practically, and Thoth and the rest of his family, pretty much you can see it all the way around the world. Like the Aztecs have temples. There's Chinese in China, there's a bunch of uncovered pyramids they won't let us uncover because they know they know they're there. They just won't let us touch them. Tibetan stuff that definitely shows there's some kind of power that they were resourcing, and it literally just shot through the entire world. There's they're called the bands underneath the ocean floor. You can actually see them. They're literally dug lines like all through the Earth's crust that literally just shot power through everything, and they wind up on this island right at the tip of Antarctica. There's it's an emerald pyramid under the ocean, and for some reason that power source is no longer viable or whatever.
Wow.
But I mean, there's a ton of stuff. There's so many layers to all that stuff. There's so many different teachings that comes from all that. And like just to be completely honest, like there's a lot of different things that they show about the Hermetic teachings and like how it all comes together. It's kind of really, really interesting, and it would be a extremely long space if I got way down deep into it. But yeah, you're on the money, Carrie. You're getting there. There's a little bit more to it than all of that. But yeah.
Can I respond to that one real quick?
That power source that has been going untapped is love. Like that's the power source, man. We don't love each other anymore, man. That's the greatest power there is.
Mercury.
Straight up.
Mercury.
Real love.
Thank you, bro. Love, bro.
It's love and Mercury.
Hey, Reverend Kanye said true love shouldn't be this complicated. But we do have a hand up, and it's Caesar. And then Zima, if you, we definitely want to get to you. But like I just kind of had the whole thing about like making sure that we use the hand system, and then I'd be like a whole thing if I didn't, swing over to Caesar. So, Caesar fam, go ahead.
Hey, you can't tell me to play by the rules, bro. And then
I feel that, bro. I'm with that.
The whole time. No, so I like what Seven was saying, right? And I think a lot of people listen to that and they think, okay, that's a bit extreme, or it's a bit of a stretch, right? The whole Anunnaki thing. Well, for you conservative folks, did you know that a lot of that story has alignments with what is told in Genesis and what is told in extra biblical texts like the Book of Enoch, Book of the Watchers, Book of Joshua? It literally
you talking about the copy pasta of the Ramayana?
Yeah, well, think about this, right? Like earlier, someone said, who comes up with this stuff, or like where do people come up with this? Well, all conspiracy theory, right? All story is rooted in some fact. Almost all of it is. It's very hard. It's rooted on an observation. It's rooted in an experience. It's rooted in something. People don't just make this shit up. It's rooted in something. Something they saw, maybe they saw it wrong. Something they heard, but maybe they heard it wrong. It's rooted in what you could almost say is part of the scientific method, which is the observational part, the sensory part, seeing, touching, smelling, feeling, right? So you've got that component to it. But you literally have one of the oldest religious texts, the Bible, in Genesis 6, saying that the sons of God, which in the Bible specifically, when it uses the sons of God, it's talking about angels, it's not talking about humans. The sons of God saw the daughters of men. Okay, daughters of men. Let's not overcomplicate it.
We're going here. Okay.
Yeah. The sons of God saw the daughters of men, and they wanted them. They came down to earth. These were the fallen angels, the Watchers, 200 of them, along with Lucifer, left the heavens, came down. They procreated with human women. They created the men of lore, the giants. This is all in Genesis. Go back and read a Bible. It's all in Genesis. And then if you reference the Book of Enoch, which is highly quoted and referenced in the biblical text, it's talked about all over the place, the Book of Enoch. So why would they reference something that wasn't accurate, right? Like going back to the citing the sources, okay? So literally this book is then telling you the accounts of all of this pre-flood world, right? All the shit that happened. And now the flood, another thing that we can agree on, that every ancient civilization, every major religion, almost everyone agrees there was a flood at some point. So this shit, at some point you have to say, like, this shit is not made up. It's just people telling the story through a different filter because they experienced it in a different way. But every civilization talks about great men, hybrid men, demigods, semi-god, full gods, right? Same thing the Bible's saying. They procreated and they created the men of legend, giants and strong men.
Nephilim in the Bible.
Nephilim in the Bible. Yeah, exactly. So it's not that much of a stretch for you to think, okay, then why does all of our movies, all of our science fiction, why does all of this shit talk about all this all the time, constantly?
It's a religion. That's what.
It's also here's where we're going to talk about the hero story, right? Because the hero story is probably the one thing that repeats itself in all of these historical texts that go back. It's a psychological hack. This if I create a story in this formula, it does something to my brain where I get extremely addicted to it, and then I want to be in the spirit of that text. Because Superman is the same way. The hero story. King Arthur, the hero story. The entire Ramayana is the hero story. Now when I talk about the Ramayana, I don't know if anybody knows, that's the Hindu religion. So you talk about Jesus. Jesus is the hero story. This is basically a story of, when you say, what would Jesus do? You want to be selfless. You want to flip the tables of the corrupt entities, the Pharisees, whatever. You want to tell the system, like, fuck you, you corrupt piece of shit. I'm taking you down. And then, you either die for it or you become a king, right? So this is the psychological hack that is literally overwrites our psychology, and I think it's a spiritual thing. This story synergizes with us. It keeps us in line. It gives us common ground, and the common ground we're able to tip the scale if we have this common ground. This is by design in our brain. This is I don't know if you want to call it evolution or the hand of God that did this to us or whatever you want to call it. This is what we use to come together and go to war with corrupt entities.
May I?
You may.
So there was when I was a teenager, I was actually a charismatic Christian speaker. So it was actually really funny because at that time we didn't have like everyone here seems to be very well versed in YouTube. But at that time, I remember reading exactly that line, that thing about the sons of God and the whole thing. And I remember telling people, like, did you see this part in the Bible? Or like, they're having sex, like the angels are having sex with women. What's going on here? And I remember just confusing everybody, right? And that's when I realized not everybody read the whole Bible. I was like, oh my God! So there's a lot of things that have been like really amplified nowadays because of the visual media, but it's there. But the one thing I wanted to talk about, what Kerry is talking about regarding, the ancient civilizations. One of my favorite ones is actually the Vedic sciences. One thing that's very interesting about the Vedics, there's actually a book written by some very prominent, like researchers, and they actually today can go to the temples. Before you just see all these designs, you see these dots, etc. Today, we can actually read them. And what we discovered is a couple of things. It's that, number one, 10,000 years ago, they had the accurate equation and the numbers for the speed of light. Number two, you can actually, there's a thing that we have that stretches for what we call the unified theory, right, between quantum and, physical classical mechanics. And that range there's actually 4 quadrants that's there to solve in order to actually accomplish that. We've accomplished 3 of those 4. Those 4 exist on a wall right now. That's literally been there for like 15,000 years. At the same time, What? I'm sorry?
What was that question?
What's the missing?
What's what?
What do we have to complete in order to finish to 4? Because that's my magic number, 4. Everything is in 4 inflection points. Everything.
Yeah, it's related to a whole concept of integrating string theory and blah 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 blah. I don't want to talk about it. It's a long conversation. But what I'm trying to say is it's already solved. Okay, it's already solved. And so these things are in direct context of the stories, which may not necessarily be fictional stories, guys. I mean, if you have an entire religion which is basically a they're like, it was like a science documentation. It's so accurate when it comes down to the numbers that we look at it today. We're thinking, but they have a blue god and those type of things. Well, that little blue god, that Vishnu guy, he came down as a baby, and he whispered into his mother's ears at that time and said, "The secrets of this universe is sound." At which point he actually went and did a demonstration where he literally organized the people and made stones come to life and dance. That whole entire experience is not only a beautiful story or a fable, but it's documented on walls. Literally the steps and the processes by which each frequency contributed to what particular process. And so, and by the way, everything I'm saying has literally been researched and studied by like real, like this. It's citable, it's quotable, and it's beyond us right now. It is beyond us.
That's
and we got I with his hand up. Who's had his hand up for a minute? Definitely want to hear from him as well.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
No.
Yeah. So I hate to sway us to yet another mystery, but I feel like it's a contradiction, like about like mermaids and species like the alien species, and to what Zima was saying, what you said about angel having sex with a woman, that's how Jesus was conceived according to the Bible, because Joseph was allegedly a husband, but he never touched her, and she got pregnant. How the hell did he do that? That was God must have come have sex with her in angel form, which is his human form, because the God is is an abstract being, does not really have no flesh. So he needs to be able to come in form of an angel, like a celestial being, to do something like that. That's the way he fought Jacob, who turned his name to Israel. But what I was saying about the mermaid, if there is a civilization like underwater that actually exists underwater, like Doggerland, which they say has been found underwater, couldn't it necessarily mean that there were people living there and still living there, but there are other civilizations like that, but they haven't found them, like mermaids? Maybe mermaids are really the aliens that we feel like don't exist but actually exist, but we don't really know where they are because we only found one of the civilizations. There might
if we can't find Bigfoot on land, how can we find mermaids in water?
Definitely.
I was going to say
why
a submarine.
The Titanic went down?
Well,
is that why the submarine's missing?
Now the Titanic is another one, right? That's the conspiracy theory, is that there were a couple people on board the Titanic that were opposing the Federal Reserve formation, and so this thing was sunk by the folks at J.P. Morgan.
I believe mermaids are real because people keep bringing it. Like somebody keeps saying mermaid, some years somebody might say this, so mermaid, another person come another year, and when I tend to see stuff like that, I really don't think they're crazy, and I think the fact that there is no existence or proof of something doesn't mean that it should be dismissed. But at the end of the day, the existence of proof also makes it more believable.
So I got a story. I got a story for you guys about mermaids. All right, no, so the mermaid thing is a real deal.
Hold on.
Huh?
I just want to congratulate you, Jay. We went from Federal Reserve on the Titanic to mermaids within a fraction of a second. I would say that this is a success.
You can't find that anywhere else but Web3 Breakfast. Really quick, I do have a story about mermaids for you guys. So when I was home brewing beer in Texas, I was searching for neoprene in order to insulate the kegs because in Texas it gets really fucking hot. And so in my searches for where I could find rolls of neoprene to make my own like keg koozies, I found out that basically the supply of neoprene is snatched up by the mers. And the mers are people that they make like their very intricate mermaid tails, and they will, they'll build these beautiful things. To them, they're beautiful, and they will utilize local pools to practice their swimming techniques. And then they book these like extravagant vacations, like $30,000-$50,000. They get a photographer underwater, and they go to the Caribbean and they do these massive mermaid scenes. So the mer people are real. And maybe what people do is they're snorkeling with their family, and they catch a little mermaid out of the corner of their eye, and then they get up to the surface and they run and tell everybody, I just saw a mermaid. Okay.
Wait, I'm confused. What is the mer people?
They're people that
yeah, they're people that dress up like mermaids.
Yeah, that they make themselves mermaid tails, and they swim in pools and in the Caribbean to live this mermaid fantasy life.
Oh,
I'm actually invested into a NFT mer person. Her name is Merida, and I have several of her NFTs. That goes, because look what she does. She actually does something really cool. Like she has like a tail, and she goes like these children's like birthday parties and stuff, and she performs for them and stuff like that. And I think that's really special that we should still allow people to dream. But I did have a quick question for because I'm trying to figure out like I was wondering where are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
Hey, I'm from Nigeria, so I'm a little superstitious.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was wondering. That's what I was wondering about, like, because like there are like like these stories for different people around the world.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying, like where mermaids are scary, like probably like we think of Bigfoot and shit.
Bro, what he said is making me think so much, because those people might have gone through a lot of effort just to go to different part of the world to keep the dream, like the belief going.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
You're doing it right now. You just spread it all over the world. Thanks, you know what I mean? You just spread mermaids all over the world.
Mermaid girl's getting paid though.
Probably.
Getting paid for that.
Well, you got to be a top 1% on Only Mers though. You got to be on the Only Mers site in order to make the money.
Only Mers.
In the spirit of mermaids. In the spirit of mermaids, should our next topic be the Kraken?
Just so y'all know, the mermaid that I invested in, she's at the top.
So you're giving the mermaid money, is that what you're saying?
Okay. I don't want to know when is it Mer Month?
Like right now.
Yeah. Oh,
got him.
Wait. Ask the thing.
You're cutting out, Sheesh. What'd you say?
Oh no, be back.
Okay.
And the regular has struck. Here we are.
I'm kind of upset. I missed the Robert Kennedy thing. Right?
I think Seven had his hand up, and then Carrie.
Yeah, let's get to some hands. We can get back to that in a little bit, Zima, because we really didn't. We kind of just touched the surface, and then really what we did is we started peeling back and talking about like how people become conspiracy theorists and stuff like that. And so we can definitely get back into that one in a little bit, because we didn't really go too far into it. Plus, with a presidential candidate coming up, knowing that he is the son of said assassination person, so. Definitely, let's get back to that. But Seven, you got your hand, and then we'll go Carrie, and then back to
I. Man, it's been a long time.
I know.
So I'm trying to think of what I was gonna say. Oh, I wanted to do a mind exercise with everybody. If everybody wants to do it, just to show you how powerful we are and what's really going on here.
Okay.
But we can wait to do that if you want to. Like, I don't know if we're gonna work out. Like, are we working out or no?
I don't know if I want to subscribe to this.
No, I think we should. We'll do another workout a little bit. We missed the 11 o'clock, but that's fine. I think today's going to be an extended, so we'll just do workouts every now and then. We'll figure all that out.
All right. So if you don't want to participate, it's fine, but it's very easy to do. Just close your eyes. And think of when you were younger, like a toy or like a show or something you did when you were younger. And imagine like where you were, how it felt, like what it sounded like in the room you were in, all that. Okay, ready? If everybody's done this, you have literally used all of your senses in your head. You've went back in time all in an instant, because that's how powerful your mind is. You literally have the power to control everything that you do and everything that you are, because it's all vibration. Like the whole sound, everything is sound thing. It literally is sound. We're all vibrating at some certain frequency. It's kind of like think about it like it's Grand Theft Auto, except everybody's walking around like an antenna. So you just pick up certain waves that are getting pushed down onto the game practically.
I'm gonna amplify what Seven just did there. That technique actually originated. It was popularized by Anthony Robbins. It's a form of neuro-linguistic programming, which they actually use to prepare themselves for bringing optimal states to the current present. Athletes use it. Olympic players use it all the time. And the one thing that you forgot to do is to take the experience and you amplify the colors, the sounds, the sights, and the smells, so you can bring it back into.
I didn't want to keep going, because like a lot of people don't understand what's happening when I'm like, yeah, you just went back in time and used all your senses without actually using it on the outside. So how the hell is that even happening?
It's quantum, baby.
Yes, sir. You're faster. You're faster than the speed of light. You have no idea that you are. You're told that you're stuck here and you're mounded into this existence. But really, you have a body, a mind, and a spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it. You're three beings at once. You literally exist three times. Like it's all happening all at the same time.
Yeah, limiting to the physical is kind of small. Kerry just be raising his hand. I feel bad. I'm not raising my hand.
All right, Kerry, let's go for it. We don't want you to hit your shoulder.
Don't feel bad, man. Seven, that was awesome. You just kind of like dropped some conspiratorial wisdom on our asses. That was neat. I'm reading back in the chat here on YouTube, and it looks like Jay wanted to talk about the moon landing.
Definitely. The moon landing or the lack thereof.
Or the lack thereof.
Yeah. Kerry, do you think that we landed on the moon?
They want, damn it.
Kerry.
Oh, well, I like to believe that we did.
Well, why the fuck haven't we been back?
Well, I think, have we not been back? Did we not?
No, we haven't been back for 50 years.
We haven't gone back.
Or there's a secret military base constantly being sent supplies that we don't know about.
On the dark side of the moon that is not visible to us.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there can't be a damn base on the moon, and we never been to the moon. Like that's the only problem with somebody. Like sometimes when I talk to conspiracy people.
Oh
yeah, you know what I mean.
There's equipment on the moon though. Like we have like a lot of tech up there.
Are you sure?
What? I got a telescope for Christmas, and I spent months looking for the flag, and I never found it on the moon.
We have installed laser reflectors on the moon right now just to measure distance. Like we have all this shit there. Like
who put it there? We put it there in the 60s.
We have stuff on Mars.
What's that?
We put this stuff there in the 60s.
Yeah, we have 1960s lasers technology.
Listen,
I guess they threw a ball at it.
Listen, I will tell you that there is no such thing. No such thing as the moon.
Yeah, Seven doesn't believe in the moon.
Oh, come on. I can see with my own eyes when I look up in the sky.
You can see, listen.
Seven, I defended you, by the way.
You can listen, I will show you the Earth's reflection, if you want to call it that, is what the moon is. It literally is a luminary reflection. Okay. That's all it is.
No way.
We never went to the moon. You're telling me.
Okay.
You're telling me.
Mofo. We can. It's physical.
You are an astronaut running around the moon, and if you rip your suit, you're gonna die. You're gonna run around, bouncing around, and jumping and acting like an absolute buffoon the whole time. No.
Bro, listen to me. We have tidal measurements all the time that we use on the moon, and in fact, one of the most important things that happened recently was related to the moon itself and equipment on the moon. Right, like actual.
But why can't Zemo? Why can't it be a reflection? You know what I'm saying? And you're just measuring the reflection. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Why can't you have women's pants
I do have women's pants on. They're workout pants because I like the way they slim down the legs.
I like that.
No, they're not. They're not. I'm just kidding. But the whole thing is, the thing is why can't it just be the measurement of the reflection? You know what I'm saying? Why can't everybody be right?
Because when you look out in some way, bullshit. The moon is fucking real. It's real. I can see with my own eyes.
If we've never been there, yeah, you see your shadow. It's not real.
It's real.
But I'll tell you
it's just my shadow.
I'll tell you
your shadow's real. Great. The moon is just the Earth's shadow. I think that's what they're saying. I believe the moon's there.
Okay, 2016. Take a look. There's actually a device that we can use to reflect a laser for measuring the distance of the moon. What happened was around that time, between 2012 and 2016, the measurements were showing something very strange. You see, we have other ways to actually gauge the measurements of the moon itself. But what this particular scenario proved out, and there's a book on this written by the NASA engineer in charge of this whole entire thing, was the fact that it was not, anyway, science experiments to prove what I'm about to say was actually done on the International Space Station, blah, 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 blah. The laser that was actually measuring the distance of the moon revealed something very important. The speed of light has changed. And so if you take a look at E equals mc squared, the actual formula we know from Einstein, energy equals the mass times the velocity of light, c being a constant, the edge of our universe, guys. The fundamental of our physics and how we know things is now E equals mvsl, which is the varying speed of light.
This is correct.
So something just popped into my mind for all the flat earthers. Mm-hmm. And if you think it's just a reflection, why is it fucking round?
Oh my God!
Gotcha.
Jay.
Gotcha.
Jay.
Yes. Gotcha.
Jay,
yes.
Seriously, I can show. Hey, Turbo. Should I just post the star video?
I mean, post anything you want. Anything.
Post it.
No, hell no. Okay. No.
And no. I will say in the flat earth model though, there seems to be two camps, right? There's like the camp no moon, and then there's the camp there is a moon and there is a sun. They're tiny turning, right?
Little tiny moons, tiny suns.
Yeah, exactly. So just for the sake of the discussions today, there are two different camps in flat earth, right?
Is the moon hollow? Carrie wants to know.
Is the moon
Earth hollow?
No, Earth.
Yeah, but the moon, we launched some shit at the moon, and it rang for like a bell for like a week or some shit, right? Did we not do an experiment on the moon?
The most convincing argument I saw on the moon being hollow is the shape of the asteroid impacts. So if you take a look, I haven't measured it myself, but based on that theory, the uniformity of the depth of the asteroid impacts all around the moon would suggest that it's actually a unified layer, almost like it's a shell that's dusty, right? And when it actually impacts it, they're all impacting on a similar, like one common surface. Now that's pretty interesting because those depths aren't that big, right? And so anyway, just a thought there, because I think the ringing and that explosion thing, I mean that was measured. So it's not a mystery, It's like
that actually happened, right? Yeah, we launched like a depth charge or some shit into the sky at the moon, and they measured the reverberations coming off it, right?
Was that after we landed there?
I think it was. It sounds like it's got a lot of similarities with like Operation Fishbowl and some of these other ones where people were. Why were we throwing like nukes and explosives up into the atmosphere? What were we trying to measure, man? I don't know.
See what happens.
Why does Hillary Clinton talk about cracking the ceiling every time she gets on stage? Why does she tell us that she's fucking trying to break something up top? Like we put 1 million cracks in the ceiling. That's what she says all the time. It's because
where does the phrase glass ceiling even come from, Seven, right?
Right. Well, the thing is like in my eyes, there's a whole another civilization that lives that talks about certain things and aspects up top, and there's so much knowledge up top that we don't get access to because how much do we know? We only know what we are are told, right? Or unless we do our own research. Accessible. It's only accessible to a point. So you have to go dig.
Have Suburbans pull up to our front doors, so we can't actually do the research to verify what's out there ourselves with our own.
Exactly.
Hey, let me add something to that, Seven. How many people here are parents? Put a hand up if you're a parent. Put a hand up if you're a parent. I have kids. How many people here are parents? Yeah. Okay.
My hand counts twice.
Cool. All right. Here's the question, right? Because it's gonna help you. It's gonna help you understand, right? What is the extent of knowledge that your kids know when you tell them something?
They know what you know.
They don't know shit.
They don't know what you told
They
them.
know what you told them. They know what you told them, and you're the authority, and they don't question you. They might ask a couple layers of whys, right? Why? But in the end, they believe what they're told, and they don't ever go out and verify something.
Okay, so we
do the same shit as adults. We do the same shit as adults, and it's called our education system. And all it does is we go and we trust some other guy that he was told by some other guy that was told by some other guy that was told by some other guy the truth.
Well, yes and no. So
there's caveats to that. Obviously, there's caveats to that, but a large part of it. Right?
Yeah,
I have
Go ahead.
I have too many. I have a lot of children. So I'm probably good for having an outlier, which I do. So my 7-year-old is an interesting being because he's 7. He's like one of the youngest ones that is actually conscious enough to put words out there. And the shit that he says is bonkers because it comes from nowhere. And he was actually better at it when he was younger. When he was real young, he would say things that were spiritually profound, that were very, very deep, profound truths that I just know to be true, but I never told this kid, right? And he would just answer in the spirit of those things as if he had a book inside of him that he was able to read. And I feel like the older he gets, he's actually losing that. And I think that has everything to do with our DNA.
They do say that children know the secrets to the universe. And as you grow older, like you just said, Sheesh, they start to forget that stuff. You are born with all the secrets. You know everything. Now, obviously, that knows that's fucking around.
And what's happening on a large scale, you talk about all the cataclysms that we had in this conversation here. All of this shit is to degrade our DNA so that way we lose touch with the truth that's already been installed by our ancestors here inside. How to eat, how to think, what to believe in, what's true, what's there. The true nature of stuff is all inside of us. And if we are, degraded, we lose that touch with that. But I feel like we are also powerful beings that have the ability to heal. So I feel like if we focus hard enough on that, we'll accomplish that and maybe fix all the problems. But that would require, having a whole different conversation. Who are we taking out?
Yeah. All right. What's our next conspiracy that we're talking about?
Oh shit, I see Dr. Bruce in the house too. We do have to do a shift, guys, like a rotation. I do apologize if I do kick you off the stage. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. But you're always more than welcome to get back into the rotation. And so
it's a great time to also go down to the bottom right, hit the purple pill, reset the room. Let's get some more folks in here. Retweet it out. Let your community know that we are talking about some fun conspiracy theory talk today. So yeah, get them in here. Let's try to get
this whole day is going to end up in a very strange place. I tell you.
Oh,
this whole day.
100%.
This whole day.
I'm all for it. I'm about that. I'm excited. I've been, we've been wanting to do this conspiracy theory show now for a couple weeks. Thank you to Caesar for actually reminding me about it early last week, and we got this thing locked in, man. This is fun. I'm excited.
My man.
So thank you, Caesar. And thank you to everybody for pulling up. Thank you for showing up, being a part of the conversation, listening, throwing up emojis, doing what you're doing. We definitely appreciate you. Guys, if you want to be a part of this conversation, I said it earlier in the show, but we do have some more folks in here now. This is Web3 Breakfast. We're a show for the community, by the community. If you want to be a part of the conversation, just request to speak. We do have a full speaker panel right now, but we can load up those requests and we'll get you on up here. We love everyone's opinion. Everyone is entitled to what they got to say. We just have the one rule. What's that?
Don't be a douchebag.
Yep.
I'm
dying.
You know what time it is. It's time for the Web3 Breakfast, bringing around the community moment. Coming in today, we got Dr. Bruce Banner. He's a music artist, DJ, and a Web3 space host. Coming from Crypto Karma Labs, Dr. Bruce Banner. Looking down here, we see, let's see here, Juice, the personal trainer. Shout out to the personal trainers. He's doing the Beast Fit, LSW, Web3 CM. No relation to Beast 45 Fitness, just happened to be that way. Shouts out to you, family. Good luck in your adventures. We see Sky bringing it in. Sky's a Web3 marketing executive, husband, and a father of 5. And those are people you can find around our community. Make sure to retweet the space and tap in.
Woo. I love when that happens.
I would like to request the Web3 breakfast song, please.
Oh, you want to hear it again?
Oh, Dr. Bruce hasn't heard the new one?
You ain't hear?
Oh, here we go.
Yes, but I want to hear it like freestyle right now with the bebop spit.
Oh my God, Zima, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready to perform.
Could we get it live?
No, guys, I'm not ready
Live
for that.
performance.
I'm not ready for that. That's not my thing yet. That was like my first time ever like doing this. Like I'm gonna need to practice a little more, I think.
But Dr. Bruce, we can run it for you only because it's only a minute. Is that cool, Jay? I'm gonna say we run it for a minute.
Good, bring it.
Dr. Bruce gets here.
Yeah.
Dr. Bruce, this is new money to Star Trek.
Yo, y'all don't wanna know. Fuck around and see it, cause you know I'm gonna go. Yeah.
Web3 breakfast, service eyes like Texas. I'm a beast, yeah, baby. You know I'm reckless. We stacking blue chips, my people buy the dip. Matt Black Lambo coming soon. Don't forget, sign the check.
Web3 breakfast. Fuck a Lexus, push a Maserati, keep a diamond Jesus on my necklace. I'm living reckless. Fuck a job, cash the check, grab the bag, hit the fight, we on the next one. Watch changing money, just ask my honey. Got a diamond on my face, I can't help it, I'm new money.
Web3 breakfast, wake and bake, appreciate the checklist, moderate the stage, perplexing everything you say, and not to mention, fuck, I think I run. Maybe I should shrug it off, go touch some grass, perhaps some bug.
Web3 breakfast.
Sets a heater, man.
Web3 breakfast.
Banger, man. What you think, Bruce? If y'all don't know, Dr. Bruce is an incredible artist, freestyler, coming out of Boston, Massachusetts. He's been doing the Web 2 thing for many, many years. Did the reality, moved into Web 3. You know what I'm saying? Now he's just a broke down DJ like the rest of us. But highly respected in the music game. What's up, Dr. Bruce? What you think?
Doctor?
Yeah, we need a diagnosis, doctor. And he's still laughing. That's why.
He's fucking speechless. He's just speechless. He's flabbergasted.
Process that amazing musical I just witnessed.
Oh, shut up. I love you guys.
You know, I got it sent to me, and it took me a minute to realize that the first verse was J Chains. I'm like, holy fuck, they got J Chains rapping.
Trying. I don't tell them we're not there yet. I did. It was so funny, man.
Never too late. Never too late.
I'm gonna tell the story because this is like really funny. We did this, we recorded it on like Friday afternoon or something like that, and man, I went back over to Seven's house on Saturday after we did some things, and as I was leaving my house, I kissed my wife and my daughter, and like, Daddy's gonna go start his rap career at 41, ladies. And I was laughing like the whole way. I'm like, that's so stupid.
Hey, I went back to my
never too late.
Never too late.
All right, so
yo, you know what? That's what everybody's gonna be mad about in the future about Web3. They're gonna be like, Web3 was the birth of the most 40 up rappers that you had ever seen from every background. Man, like, look, bro, straight up, man. I got homies that be rapping from India, fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude's like, I'm leaving the monastery. I'm going to start my rap career, and I'm like, all right, bro, do it. And he's doing it, man. You know what I'm saying? So the history books will look back at this moment as the 50 and up rappers. It's a whole style. So
50 and up,
so
man.
I
Watch
can't
your
wait
mouth.
to get to 40.
Watch your mouth, man. 50
I said 40. I said 40. I said 40. I said 40. I said 40.
Wait. So you're telling me you had a monk stop his studies because of your guidance?
Yeah, I also had a buddy that I talked into going, to go and then go after his love life, like the love of his life, and to go for it. And that was a disaster. Man, listen, you just have to go for it. Even if it doesn't work out, you'll learn some lessons. You know what I'm saying? And you could always go back.
I feel like it was already advanced, and you kind of took
Turbo is the devil on the shoulder, not the angel. That's who Turbo is. He looks like the angel. He looks like it, but man, oh man, if you take his hand, he's gonna make you go on a wild adventure. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
I'm gonna throw out some topics because you were asking earlier.
I was gonna say it's time to take this one back to conspiracy theories. Aliens, Roswell, UFOs. Are aliens real? I don't believe so.
Oh yeah.
I don't believe.
Yeah, I mean I'm an alien.
I mean, I'm an alien, so that's pretty good proof.
All right.
Yeah. No, so you think you don't believe
he might be because he's a giant.
Really? You don't believe aliens exist?
No.
If you saw skeletons and bones and shit, would you believe it?
If I could myself prove that it wasn't some animal bone, possibly. But do aliens have bones?
Like legit, no doubt, it's a freaking skeleton of a freaking alien.
No, not a skeleton. It's gonna literally have to take me seeing a flying saucer land in my yard and some aliens come out saying, "Take me to your leader," or some stupid shit, like for me to even believe that. Like, there's a lot of things that can be.
Beginning of comments.
Why would they talk like that? Why would they talk like that? They're like so like scientifically advanced. They like done flew all the way across the galaxy, and their first line's like, "Take me to your leader." That's the shit that be making me mad about this whole thing. Because I'm like, yo, these like
let's not talk.
They came from
like they don't know my leader.
Yeah, what the?
Well, you guys all want to talk at the same time. Now nobody wants to talk, huh?
No, I think you muted them.
No, I didn't touch it. I don't mute. That's not my job.
I've seen a UFO. I've witnessed one.
Okay, tell me the story.
California. We're driving down from what time was it? It must have been like I don't know. It was a stretch between San Francisco towards I think we were headed to Vegas. I forgot already. But all I know was my boy was driving, and he said, "Wake up, wake up, wake up." He starts pounding me, and I open my eyes, and there was this and when I tell you it was in front of me, I mean I could probably throw a football at it, right? What's that? We just stopped our car. We just looked at this fucking thing. It did this like weird 180, and then it just flew to the right, and then flew to the fucking left, and it was a ball. You can see that it was all the way by the mountains, and then we were like, "What the fuck was that?" And my friend had a piece of it on recording, but it was too dark, and then there's that convenient story. But all I know is this: it's convenient. It's convenient for me not to be able to prove it, but I saw it, so I'm okay.
What about Venus? What about what they found on Venus?
What did they find on Venus?
They found
silicon.
What?
No, go ahead.
They found they found chemicals that could only be produced by biological life forms already on Venus. So, I mean, what kind of aliens are you talking about?
I mean, like a worm living in outer space. I wouldn't consider that to be an alien. Like, I would like it to be like some kind of intellectual life that can speak.
Like humanoid life form.
Just some kind of form, some kind of form, like a body that can I don't even know what I'm saying, but like an organism like a worm or like a little dust particle doesn't count. That doesn't count as an alien.
Wouldn't that
alien
in space? Doesn't that indicate that there has to be a higher life form out there? Because if a worm can exist in space, obviously a multi-celled organism is capable, and that's exactly what we are.
Like a chicken or something.
Yeah, like a chicken. Can we find a space chicken?
Space chicken.
Space chicken.
I would try space chicken.
Oh my God, is there going to be an NFC project called Space Chickens now?
It's happening now. Okay,
Yeah,
bro, that's all minting the drop.
Yeah. So the Mint site is going live in about 45 minutes, guys. So get your eats ready. Space chicken.
Space chicken. Yes.
Yeah, because how long does it take until we start trying to eat these organisms if they do come here? You know what I'm saying? Like if we do start finding alien life form, how long does it take?
Friday.
We kill it instantly. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand it either. Why we always got to kill something?
To eat it, bro. Jeez.
We would instantly have a restaurant called In and Outer Space.
Oh.
That's a good one. That was a good one.
I don't want to eat there.
I don't either. Nice.
Look, the conspiracy behind the bones is that the Vatican has a whole shitload of those things.
I don't trust anything out of the Vatican. My goodness, they've been lying for years.
Well, so then they got the aliens. But bro, look, just so you know, didn't they have that whole declassified footage that was released to the whole public with those freaking things flying around? I mean, how could you not say that they don't exist when literally it was released by the effing government and on TV?
Okay, so let's
the TV and the government.
Yeah. I was going to say let's take the government and the mainstream media for the word for it. When really there was probably something going on with whether it's the Epstein trial. Recently, I heard that was it Justin Timberlake testified against Barack Obama about somebody or someone.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
wag the dog's at it. Okay.
So
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leo. So it's like that to me, the alien thing, the submarine thing, all these bullshit things that don't mean anything. That's the distraction from some other thing that's happening.
Hold on a second. What's your position on Johnny Depp, though?
I like Johnny Depp, man.
Well, hang on now, because we got some hands too. We definitely got some hands too. We got to swing. I know 7 had his hand up.
You're keeping law and
Dr.
order
Bruce has
today,
hand up.
Turbo. Cut me off.
I just know because I could tell. Well, I just seen the grimace on your face when we all were talking at one time, and from just the change in your tone of your voice from the alien talk. I'm just trying to just make sure we keep this thing on straight. And I'm not trying to get fired before noon.
All right, lock it down, bro.
I think that they exist. We just can't see that spectrum of light. Like I think that we can't even comprehend what's actually going on here. Like that's all it is. If they do exist, then they're not. It's not like they come from other worlds and shit. It's like they're interdimensional, so they're just phasing in and out. It's kind of like almost like the parallels are stacking on top of each other, and it kind of has like you see a window, kind of like they zip through our dimension trying to get
or they're just hiding. They're just hiding, bro. That's all.
Okay, so is this on the same wavelength now then as ghosts? Do you guys believe in ghosts? Please say no. Just please say no.
Same concept.
Definitely.
Same concept.
My gosh.
Definitely, I believe in ghosts. And speaking of ghosts, Dr. Bruce, he has his hand up. He might have to ghost us to go drive around on a lift car. Dr. Bruce Better.
Doctor.
No, I just wanted to tell you that my father told me one alien story. So my pops was a fisherman, like a trip fisherman. He'd be out on sea for 30 days and in for 5. And he said that one time he was at the shucking box, and he said like a teardrop metal, like chrome looking thing just came straight down from the sky, right above the water, about 2 inches above, stopped immediately and did a 360 and then gone. As quick as the eye could see, it just took off faster than light, like the water rippling. He said he never really told anybody about it because he was embarrassed that he had no idea how to explain it. And just even hearing him talk about it, it could tell that he got extremely uncomfortable. And one of his good friends, this dude Bob that used to fish, supposedly was abducted, and the dude was a whack job. I mean, you ask him about it, it would just be the weirdest conversation you ever experienced in your life. But I don't know. I think it's definitely a possibility.
Interesting.
J-Chance, does that convince you that? Are you now believing?
No, I mean,
just because you don't believe his father. You don't believe his father. Oh my God.
I'm not calling.
Bruce,
Bruce, I am not calling your father a liar. I just, for me, I wasn't there. I live in this crypto world where I don't trust. I have to verify, and so that's where I'm at. And the day that I see an alien, or the day that I see a ghost, or the day that we go back to the moon, or whatever, then I'll start thinking differently. But until I see something with my own eyes, I will not just take someone's word for it.
I mean, there is a mission
My
to the
dad is
moon.
very much the same way, and that's why he doesn't like talking about it, because he doesn't know what it was and he doesn't know how to explain it. But he just said, you know what I mean, never seeing anything like that before, and he was in the military as well. So he said, you know, that's why he doesn't like talking about it, because he's very much the same way.
Yeah. I mean, that's convincing.
When we do the Vegas show, we should have like a whole like alien like situation where we drive out to the middle of the desert like and do a situation.
Alien hunters.
Yeah, Web3 Breakfast. Web3 Breakfast, alien hunters.
Can I get a really quick a show of hands before we move on to the hands, because we'll go to Sapphire next. Anybody in the crowd, guys, if you would go spend the night in the desert out in Vegas or New Mexico or wherever and go alien hunting with the Web3 Breakfast, let's just see a thumb up or some kind of emoji just so I can see what we're working with. Okay, so no, gotcha. All right, looks like there's just a few of us that are going to do this.
Hey, Jay, if you want to come down,
all you
man, me and Sky are in New Mexico, bro, and I'm right in the heart of all this stuff. So anytime, bro.
All right, listen. We're going to be taking the Web3 Breakfast show on the road very soon here. You know, we've got to stop in Australia. We're going to go see some of our friends there. We're going to go all over the world, and we will do an overnight in the desert, a little alien mission. I'm super excited about that. I would love to. Sapphire, you had your hand up, so I'd like to go to you next. And then, Honest, you are back. I'm so glad you're
I got
back.
40 acres in Arizona. We could go camp out on that.
Let's go. We're gonna, definitely.
What's so annoying is that y'all are the ones that go look for trouble, and if this was a horror movie, I would be the one that would die. Even though I'd be saying, hey, we probably shouldn't go spend the night in the desert looking for aliens. I'm gonna be the first person in the movie to die, and y'all are the ones who went out there looking for trouble.
I know the stereotype. I've heard this.
Nope. That's definitely 100%. That's 100% not true, Sapphire. Because you'd be playing the leading lady. You'd be playing the leading lady. You know what I'm saying? And so that everyone would think that you're going to get taken, but you're going to be the one that makes it.
So like the tatas, I get it. You're right. But the girls saved the day once again.
The girls saved the day.
Now, if you show them in the movie, you're definitely dead. If this is a 1984 film, as soon as you pull them out, you're gone. You're gonna make it then.
Bouncing through the shirt, you know, I go through the water sprinklers, you know, that's it. No, I was gonna say I've actually had a weird encounter before. I don't know that I believe in ghosts. I feel like usually spirits if they're making themselves known, like where you could see them, is probably not a good entity or spirit. I feel like, so I'll just make it a long story short. There was a tornado at one point, and then our power was down on our block. And then at the time, me and my brother lived in the same apartment complex. He was at the downstairs. So I went downstairs to check on him, and then banged on his door. I heard nothing. And then I saw down the hallway what I thought was one of the older people that lived in the building. And I know that some of them had oxygen machines. So I went towards that door, okay, they were slumped over. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you probably can't breathe. They're having a heart attack. So I went towards the door. And when I tell you, whatever it was, went from hunched over on the wall to it straightened up its body. And it was very tall. And it was very tall and dark. And just like in the movies, it shot towards me in nanoseconds. When I tell you, I literally ran upstairs, got my car keys, got in my car, and I literally drove for blocks to my cousin's house with a damn tree trunk, dragging that on my car because I was just so freaked out. And it was a few days later, my brother kind of had a nervous breakdown. So I'm I don't know if that was whatever entity was hovering, if I would have got my brother out of there, if that wouldn't have happened. It's kind of a weird story, but I saw with my own eyes this thing. I was sober, hadn't smoked anything. My cousin, I know it really happened too, because I was freaked out. My cousin had to help me pull this tree from under my car that I drug for blocks. And I told him what happened, and he just didn't understand it. So that was the one encounter I would say that I've had with something that I have no idea what it was. I know it wasn't good because this fear came over me and washed over me. And I've experienced things like that, but I've had feelings and where I knew something was around and it didn't scare me. So I've had experiences with things I couldn't see or that weren't tangible, and I never felt the fear that I felt when whatever that thing was. And so I've had a weird encounter. I don't know what it was. It hasn't happened since, thank God, but I have had an encounter with something I cannot explain that was not human. It was not of this world.
I've also had a similar encounter, but I didn't visually see it like that. So my ex at the time, he called me and was just petrified. Well, she wasn't my ex. Actually, yeah, she was. Yes. Anyways, she called me petrified. She's like, something's in the room. I'm really scared. I don't know what's going on. Right. And I'm talking her down. I'm like, it's fine. You probably. And then, like, I've never had this experience again in my life, but a chill went from the tip of my neck where my spine is down to the very bottom of my spine, and I felt instantly cold. And the craziest part about that conversation is she said, I just feel better before I even said anything. She said, wow, it went away. As I was experiencing this chill. And I told her, I said, well, now I'm freaked the fuck out because I just felt the chill and I feel like something is in the room, right? So
the demon got inside of you. It was like one of those exorcisms where it shape-shifted from her soul to yours.
It didn't stop there. So that night, I couldn't go to sleep. Eventually, I did go to sleep, and I woke up in sleep paralysis, and the sweater on my door was moving like a being, and I was trying so hard to move, and I broke myself free of it, right? And at that moment, it kind of just like all went away. But since that moment, I believe in malevolent spirits because it's just the way the conversation on the phone happened. It wasn't a provable thing. Like I didn't say, oh, now I feel a chill, and then she responded with, oh, I feel better. It was like she acknowledged that something had left that room, and I felt it before she said that.
It was some sort of transfer. And then speaking
What
of
if it
sleep
was
paralysis,
just the air conditioning turning on?
You're such a non-believer. Have you ever experienced or J Chain's sleep paralysis? Because I can speak to that. Like I suffer from that from like the age of 8 until I don't know 25, and that's what I'm saying. I've experienced creepy things, but still nothing compared to that thing with that encounter because I've had it before I knew what it was. Like nobody even was talking about it at the time. So I just learned what's crazy is that so I shared a room with my brother growing up, and then like he said, you can't move, nobody can hear you. Somehow I trained myself in my sleep to hit the wall, and my brother knew that means I was having sleep paralysis, and he would come wake me up.
Oh shit!
And then eventually, when we stopped sharing rooms, the only way I could stop it from happening is I would hold my breath until I woke up panting for air, and that was the only way I can pull myself out of it. And you see beings. I've even been out of my body and seen the dark thing sitting on my chest or dragging me. Like it's creepy. It's like really crazy.
Wow. So okay, I want to really quick. Go ahead, Zemo, because I do want to get to Honest because he's had his hand up and he may be traveling.
Just to talk about sleep paralysis, talk about ghosts, talk about afterlife, talk about entities that approach you. There's this is actually a extremely common and consistent experience all around the world with people. Every time people actually start talking about it, almost people start raising their hands like I had this type of experience, I had this type of experience. So around 15 years ago, they actually engaged in Harvard in a formal study about this. And so there's over 5,000 accounts that they actually did where they followed both near-death experiences. They followed incidents of when kids remember their past lives, right?
Regression.
But they're usually like children that remember. So they were if a child was able to remember the exact name or description where they could actually follow up on, and literally almost all the cases they have described in fact details that were correlated. Now this is a actual study that was done to explore this topic, right? And the researchers that did it, by the way, they were as cold as F. So they weren't trying to do the whole spiritual proving at all. But you better believe that every single one of them has definitely questioned their understanding of the world. All of them.
Boom. Honest, go ahead, please, and then we'll go to Dr. Bruce, and then anyone else that has hands, please raise them.
All the homies in here, man. It's good to see y'all, man. I was y'all talking about ghosts, man. So I had to say this. Just we in the conspiracy room theory, so I had to say this, man. For one, I really don't think any of y'all really believe that they're spirits. Cause see, look, I believe that they're spirits. Let me explain why.
What?
If we don't believe in Santa Claus, okay? But if one day we woke up because we don't believe in Santa Claus and we seen fucking Santa Claus sitting on our fucking couch, we would be scared as shit. Okay, we would be scared because we don't believe in Santa Claus. That's why we're scared. See, but I believe in spirits. So all of y'all stories they're kind of like PG. You know what I'm saying? They're like PG, like, oh, I seen a shadow. Ah,
You know what? You
oh,
know what?
well,
Don't challenge it. I'll go there with you.
It's one thing seeing them when they start tormenting you and torturing you. You know, and that's a whole other thing.
Dude, I know what you mean by that. By the way, the whole PG thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, so we
No,
lost.
Honest got. I think he rugged.
Okay.
Yeah, but hey, but
he
to
was
his
right,
point though. But to his point though, the only people. I mean, sorry. The only reason that people enjoy going to magic shows is because they know it's magic. Because if you seriously thought for 1 second that a woman was being sawed in half and then being taken apart and then being put back together and then she pops out of that box, if you truly thought that happened, it would be pandemonium in there. People would be freaking going crazy. But everybody knows it's a trick, you know, so that's the way they
the consistency between all conspiracy theories, these things that you guys that we're talking about right now, they are things that you cannot control if they were true. It causes fear in all of us because it's completely out of our control. And so to rationalize that they don't exist is literally just to keep your mind sane. And I understand this, by the way. This is a very important thing we have to also do for ourselves, or else we won't be able to go to bed, right? But it doesn't discount the fact that these things are being studied, right? And they're really there.
So, because of my experience, for a couple of years, I was on my ghost hunter shit. And I have this video of this visit to what was claimed to be haunted in upstate New York. It was this abandoned mental facility. And like, if you look it up, there was like a lot of like real, like at scale atrocities to the mentally handicapped that happen in these places. Like there was a level just for children and they basically locked them up and never went up there kind of thing. It was a lot of fucked up shit, right?
Where
So
is
God, I can't remember the name of it.
It's in the US? Okay.
It's in Heritage Hills. It's in
Okay.
Heritage. So I went up there with my camera in the middle of the night, like by 2 or 3 a.m., right? And not only was it like the darkest dark it ever was I've ever experienced, but this weird thing would always happen where I'd have the camera, and we didn't notice this till after we were in post-production. Every time my buddy would say, I have a weird feeling, there was this orb of light that would move in the camera. And it was like, it's literally every single instance that he said he had a feeling, you would literally see something. And you know, I struggle with years like, all right, am I looking for it because he said that, or am I just seeing it? And I've had like numerous people look at the video and say, holy shit, like
That's
this
a
is
lens
crazy.
flare. That's what I think. They're lens flares, right? Like until like a ghost or something comes and fucking tusks you, or like you see it like hovering over, it's like Beetlejuice. But literally just lens flares. It's a lens flare.
Careful, J Chains. Do not tempt.
Oh, no, it's gonna
such
get
things.
them. Oh no.
Yeah.
This code word password is Jesus. They don't like the bad ones. Don't like the name of Jesus. So when they come for you, J Chains, since you're tempting them, you know, just call the name of Jesus.
Do you want me to like sleep with garlic next to me too for the vampires, guys?
Yeah, I got you. I got you a couple of wooden stakes. I got a couple wooden stakes that I've whipped up for you, Jay. I also got you a silver bullet, as well as you know, as a nice cross and some holy water. So you're gonna be fine, bro. Listen, you can tempt them because you have to believe to see this stuff. You know what I mean? Like our brains are naturally wired that way. I mean, if you don't even believe in the shit, you ain't gonna see it. You know what I mean? It's confirmation bias. to even see those things. But I know Dr. Bruce had his hand up.
Hold on. So Sapphire, you said he's tempting spirits, and now like that's like a manifest thing. So like for to preserve your anti-spirit like belief, I pray for a bubble of protection over you and your family, so that these spirits don't come into your life at all, and that way you can continue to not believe in them.
Because I couldn't agree with that.
That was a little bit odd, and I get like funky.
You know
like
what?
that.
I did just get a text
heard
message
that.
really quick. There are some people in my life that do believe in this stuff. One of my wife's friends is probably like an actual witch, and so she did text me and say, by the way, we have like they're like like the little railroad cross, the little railroad nails or whatever. They're like crossed with like some red rope tied together, and it sits above our door to keep the bad spirits out. And whether you fucking believe that shit or not, we do have that. I forgot about that. We have it in our house. That's how much I don't believe in this stuff, is that I forget that we even have these like little things. Sorry.
Some of that stuff that like even with sage, for example, people think that they're cleansing stuff out, but it's actually opening certain things in. So you got to be careful. But I feel like you're the fact that you don't believe is going to be your biggest. That's your skepticism is going to be like, you're going to be fine. Everyone around you might be experiencing things, but I feel like that's like a barrier of protection in it. So,
It's,
it is.
Whether it's deniability, whether it's just whatever. I do see that we have someone that just came up to the stage. Maybe this is to talk about this witch cross in our house. Hello, Whitney.
Hey.
This is my wife,
morning,
everybody.
or-
If you've
or
not
afternoon.
met, this is GM. You always just say GM.
Hey, Whitney.
Okay, GM. Good morning.
Hello.
Afternoon. Hi. So yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to kind of correct the narrative here. I definitely believe in all of this and that we are protected. I'm a science mind and I 1000% believe all this is true. And we do. My friend's an actual witch and we have a protective cross coming into our door because that's what we should do and protect our family when we can. So sorry, J Change. You believe by default.
You call me by my
She called you J-Chains. She called you by your government name.
Dude, this is ridiculous. So we were at I had brought her to an event once before, and like somebody was asking you could probably tell the story better than me, and like someone's like, who do you belong to? And it was just like one of those weird things. She's like, oh no, I'm J Chain's wife. And it was like one of those things like, honey, you're not allowed to say that. Just use my real name, please.
No, someone told me, she said, oh, Chain's wife, I'm honored to meet you. And I was like, oh, that's what I am, J Chain's wife. So anyway, that was
so lucky.
But I love being J Chain's wife.
Thank you.
Yay. But this is a great space this morning, and I'm very into it. But we do believe in, at least I do.
Yeah.
It's good to meet you.
You too.
Believes in ghosts. Hells yeah, we convinced them.
I got 2 ghost stories for you. Well, I'll only share one.
Okay.
Thanks for keeping us in suspense.
Who said that? On the real though, I
can't wait till we're all
you know what? I love
The
this.
campfire.
I love what's happening here. I think this has been in a fantastic space. I think for the sake of you wanting more, let's just pick this back up tomorrow. Let's do that. And I said that we were going to run this thing for a while, but I know people got shit to do. I could sit here all day and talk these things with you guys, but I think that we could actually run this thing back and have some more fun. Bruce, I will give you the opportunity to tell your ghost story, and then we'll shut it down for the day because I know some people got to get to work.
Part 2.
Conspiracy.
They're more like spirits, I think, or like religious than they are ghosts. But one was a near-death experience. This is the one I'm comfortable talking about. We were in a Jeep, and we were driving on some back roads in Cape Cod. It was wintertime. It's not, if you've ever been to Cape Cod in the wintertime, there's not much out there. And my boy's driving, and somebody comes up on our ass, like almost like they're about to ram us. And so my man floors it, and we're going up, like kind of up on like a long medium left. And it's up a hill, and then you have to go long, medium, right down the hill. So it's like up and then over, right? He floors it going into the turn, and the Jeep kicks sideways. So we're going straight for a house. We're going sideways straight for a house. I mean, I can see into the house, 2 old people watching TV. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to kill these old people. So, you know, natural reaction. I grab the oh shit bar. I plant my feet into the floor. I don't have my seatbelt on. And I'm looking at this driver like, you're going to fucking kill us. Like, holy shit. He counters the wheel, floors it again, and it sends us into a spin. And we go across the road. And like now we're into the woods spinning. We hit telephone poles. We took out 2 telephone poles and I think 6 trees in the Jeep. And when we hit, my airbag dudded, and I went head first into the windshield. And then when we hit, that was the telephone pole. Then we went spinning into the trees. And when we hit the trees, I flew through the side of the center console with my rib cage. I broke it and I hit the driver and ejected him out of the car because I hit him so hard. So now he's hanging outside of the car. We've knocked the power out, so you can't see a goddamn thing. My airbag dudded. It just blew smoke. I don't know if you've ever seen that airbag smoke, but it just blew that shit all into my face. So in all of this, I feel like the warmest fucking bubble around me. And as I hit the windshield, nothing happens to my head. I fucking hit it, spider cracked the whole thing. Like you can see the head indent of my head. Nothing happens to me. Just smashed the window. And then I broke my 9th and 10th rib. But I never felt it until we stopped and the door opened and the bubble came off of me and I'm gasping for air. And it was almost like something grabbed me and held me through it to keep me safe. I don't know how to explain it. I didn't see anything. It was more of a feeling.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, the only thing that happened was my 9th and 10th rib got fractured, and nothing else happened. The other driver sustained, some cuts and bruises because I sent him through his driver's side window. I sent him out of it. He smashed through that, and he was hanging out of the car, and I pulled him back in. So he had cuts and stuff from the glass. But outside of that, like neither of us were really injured except for my 9th and 10th rib being broken.
Damn.
And you should have seen the car.
Yeah. I no, we're talking about spirits and ghosts and all that shit. That's one thing. Is talk about having like a guardian angel protecting you. I've been in 3 motorcycle accidents, Bruce. I'm right there with you. There is at points we do have things that protect us because I fully agree with you there. It's just
if
the
they exist, why would the opposite not exist?
Yeah.
If that exists.
This is this is why we're having a follow-up. This is why we're doing a part 2 of this show. Go ahead, Turbo.
Great idea.
No, I was just gonna say that's exactly what I was about to say. Why does there have to be an evil if there's a good? Why can't good just stand alone? You know what I'm saying? And we all have different thoughts and opinions. We really appreciated the conversation, as far as like everyone's like coming their different perspectives. I would definitely like to do part 2, Jay. You know what I'm saying? Just because. Man, we got a lot to uncover. There's still many ways to go. We didn't even get into 9/11. You know what I'm saying? I'm disappointed about that because I'm 100%. I believe the government definitely did it, was involved. You know what I'm saying? But it's what it's for. You know what I mean? Like we're getting together.
Part 2.
That's my birthday.
They do Shark Week. Maybe this is just Conspiracy Theory Week. Maybe we'll just run it all week and have fun with it.
Yo, that's dope.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay. Whatever time of the year this is, next year is Conspiracy Week.
Love it.
Oh.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to run it for today. This was so much fun. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Make yourself 1% better today than you were yesterday, and you'll stack that shit up and have a good time. We'll see you tomorrow. We love you. Thank you so much for being here.